Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends.
Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends. Y'all ready to cook up some conversation? Come on.
Kitchen talk.
Let's talk.
Well, hey.
What's up? What's up?
Kitchen Talk, CTC.
Conversations that cook.
They
Yes,
cook,
they
don't
do.
they?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I'm still talking about last week's conversation. Hey,
I'm gonna need you to be on time. What can I do? How can I help you?
That junk say 9:01. Actually, more like 9
hey, listen.
9 o'clock and 42 seconds.
In our community, you on time, right?
I mean, I really try to stay away from CPT, but I mean, you know.
And you operate on it all the time.
Hey, what can I say?
I'm here.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Listen, how are you?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm all right. It's a lot going on in the world.
yeah.
It's a lot going on.
We taking some
in the world.
L's. We taking some L's.
It's
I don't
a lot.
even call these W's. They got to be. I don't care if a person is awarded 12 million, if their family is awarded $12 million or not. We still took a L on that. We really did.
Well, you know, it's a partial setup, right? So I do think that the monetary amount was you know, you can't put a price on it. You can't put a price on it.
No.
But the biggest piece is not even just the justice in terms of putting the guys behind jail. It's how do we stop this from happening over and over again? So yeah, you got arrested. Yeah, you went to jail. But guess what? Tomorrow we calling somebody else's name out, right? We hashtagging somebody else.
Somebody else's name.
That is the systemic problem. So yeah, they got the money and that's great. You know, hopefully that helps. And hopefully they can find some, you know, some peace in this process. But until we really figure out a way to stop this, you know, continuous action, then
There is a way, but they're just not doing it. I'm sorry. If you continue not to hold people responsible and accountable for their actions,
right.
they're going to keep doing what they're doing.
And you know what really
Because
ticked me off?
For some reason, sorry, JT, for some reason, you don't change your behavior unless you think you're wrong. And somebody don't think they're wrong.
Yeah.
Of course they don't think they're wrong.
Go ahead, JT, what were you going to say?
Yeah.
You know what? Michael Vick, the dogs that Michael Vick killed got more justice than my girl, man. And you know what? That's real sad.
Yeah.
It's not funny. I know we're giggling a little bit, but man, that is sad.
But you know, I said that when the Michael Vick thing went down. You put in more value on dogs than you do on human lives.
No, right? not on human lives, on black lives.
Hey,
black lives.
Right. Hey, but you know what? We do say black lives, and it really does matter, as we talked about over and over again. But there are some people who don't listen. If you don't have the resources, you are in this system too. right? People don't talk about it, but it's the same. You could be black, Mexican, I mean, whatever. Yes,
But this is
black people are getting it more and have been, but until we galvanize as a true group, a true united front, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be
but
the same thing.
this is the thing though, France. When we talk about Mexicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, black people, some of them, they actually think that, you know, they fit in that category of white. And I'm like, man, I don't know what y'all see or what y'all looking at, but Donald Trump don't care nothing about Latinos, Hispanics either. But
So,
y'all sitting there like, go ahead.
The systemic racism doesn't only happen in America, right? It happens everywhere. You go to the Cuba, same thing. Puerto Rico, same thing. Colombia, same thing. Brazil, same thing. You know, wherever you go, you're gonna see this systemic racism in place. That's the thing. How do we combat that? How do we fight that so that we don't have to keep doing these hashtags? I mean, again, it's gonna take a lot of effort and work, but all we could do is pray for the family and pray for our communities and hopefully start putting some real change in place.
I'm hoping that we put some real change in place. However, that's not what we came to talk about tonight.
Actually, it is.
I mean, it is, but it ain't. It is, but it ain't. So one of the things that I believe will help is the way we spend the almighty dollar.
Exactly.
The way we spend the almighty dollar, because money talks and it speaks very loudly. Thus, football games still going on, high school, college, professional, even in the midst of a pandemic. We're not worried about that. We just want to play some football.
Correct.
We want to make some money. It doesn't matter about human life. It's just the money. We got to open up these states and get back to normal, and people still dying because so
They gotta
when we
generate their
think
money.
about it, it is about the money.
Mhm.
But I think where we can really make the impact is, how about we just spend our money with us?
That's hard to do.
We just buy black. So buying black, that's what we're talking about tonight. Buying black. There are so one, okay, from this perspective, because France has talked to me about this before. As an entrepreneur, because I own a business, or I have skills and talents. What'd you say, JT?
Huh? I was
Did you say
talking
something?
about what you said. What business do you own? What do? You sell high heels, like high heels that's like extra tall.
Him right there. Him right there. I cannot stand him.
I love you though.
Yeah, I'm really feeling it.
You sell booster seats for grown people.
See, I can't.
She's in the business of helping people. Well, she's in the business of entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you think about it from the perspective of, let's say I have gifts and talents. How do I parlay that into a business? So some of us, we sit back, we have these gifts and talents, but we hold on to them because we don't really know, or we feel some kind of way about charging for what we do, or charging correctly for what we do.
Correct.
Mm.
Correct.
then I feel you on that charging and charging correctly, because it's something about black people where you could have a set price, and then the black person gonna be like $15. What 15? You gonna charge me $15 for that? What you mean? But we will go to a Arab store, a white store, or a Chinese, Asian, and pay $20 extra than what you were charging with no problem at all. I mean, I don't mind paying what I need to pay, but at the same time, I hate the fact that we have to sit behind that wall of, well, if I charge this price, then black people not going to support it or whatnot. That's just me. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but
No,
that
I
is
do
the thing
think
I
that
see.
we support it, but what we do is we try to barter, or we try to negotiate with our own people, but we don't do it with others as much as we should be doing it with others. It goes back to where you and Lisa, you and I had this conversation on value. Do we value each other in terms of what we bring to the table? So because I value you, you know what? If this is the price, I'm going to pay that. I think, again, it goes back to what our original conversation was. Do we value our people? Do we value, who we are, what we do, and what we bring to the table? Until we do that, it's hard to change those policies because, again, we don't have that united front. We don't have that united cash flow to say, hey, enough is enough.
Mhm.
I was talking to a good friend in terms of the Jewish community. And as you know, I'm from Miami, Florida. I went to Miami Beach Senior High School. Shout out to High Tides all around the world. But it was definitely a heavy Jewish influence. I have a lot of great Jewish friends, but they definitely do bind together, not just in the cause of the Holocaust, but financially, spiritually, emotionally. We're not doing that as much, and it's hurting us. Our Lisa, we had this one, our spiritual leaders, right? The people who should be guiding us should be saying, hey, not only am I giving you this key or doorway to your salvation, but also while you're here in the land of the living, we need to work on this heavenly place, right? Because it could be heaven for us too here.
Here.
To get to heaven, to have a nice house, to be able to live and have my kids run outside without getting shot, killed, run down, beat down, eaten by a dog. We don't have to be in this place, but it's gonna take that push where we start valuing each other in a grander perspective.
Right. I agree definitely with that. So even moving from, okay, so we go from, okay, let's say I find a way to market or to make this my skills and my talents, all right, I got the business now, right?
Right.
So how or what is the big push to, I don't want to say push, and I don't really want to use the word problem either, but what is the challenge of us saying, you know what, let me look, we don't look for it, right? So we do what's convenient, we do what's easy. So we don't go out and search for, okay, if I want to buy this or if I need somebody to do that, we don't really go out and search for a black owned business. We just do what's convenient, what's easy. Or you do?
Yeah, I really do try to find who's a black owner of whatever I need at that moment. If I can't, then I'll run to the mall. If I, you know what I'm saying, then I'll find another store. But I do go on Facebook or whatever. Is there any black owners of this, any black owners of that? Because I do want to support my people, our people,
How challenging is that to find though? Like some of the stuff that you want to do?
It's hard.
I don't think it's as hard as we think it is. I think one of the things we need to do is not only find these businesses, but we also need to create these businesses, right? So sometimes we think, oh, we need this person. Sometimes we have to be that force. I wore this hat tonight because it's from a Black-owned business, right? You guys know I love my hats. I saw this company that was putting it together. I said, you know what? I'm going to support these guys and get a couple of hats. There's some more groups, and I'm like, you know, I like what they're doing. It's great quality. So I'm going to support it. I think the one thing that we need to do is go back to quality and value, right? So if I'm giving you this product, I'm going to give you the best of this product. If I'm giving you this service, I'm going to give you the best of this service. So with my chess classes and my coaching classes and my leadership classes, I'm always striving to give the best because I'm a Black business, right? And I want people to say, man, he came with the thunder today. That was what we needed. We got it. We paid for it. It was worth it. As a matter of fact, we need to up his pay. A good friend of mine say, under promise, over deliver. And I think where we hurt ourselves as Black businesses is that we don't do that. You know, you go into the shop and things are not together. You go into the restaurant, things are hectic or chaotic. You're not getting that same service that you're used to. And you try to tell, you know, hey, you should do this or that. Nah, that's my business.
Man, you don't take you ain't got to come in here with that. You came in with attitude. I'm like, man, please, you the one with that. I don't even care. You ain't got to eat in my establishment. I'm just letting you know this is my business and this is what it's gonna be. This how I operate. Nah, man. See,
that's what we need to work on. I mean, you guys know my hashtag, working on greater, right? Yeah. If today was my best day, how can I make tomorrow better? If I'm running a business, how can I make the next transaction better than this transaction today? And if we don't do that, if we don't work on building ourselves, building our businesses and our community and our brand, who's going to want to support you, right? That's the thing. We want to support the business. But if it's raggedy, you're not gonna get the folks. Number one, if you're not creating businesses, who's gonna support you? Nobody.
But France, so Crystal just put up, I think it was Crystal. Yeah, Crystal Scott said constructive criticism. I'm good with constructive criticism. Correct. I am. But do you think we go in there into our Black businesses more nitpicky than we do with the counterpart?
You have a few people. I actually know some people personally that do that kind of foolishness. Oh, this ain't nothing like it is when I go in Chick-fil-A. I mean, look at this. It's a toothpick that's outside sitting on the table. Why is that? Come on, man. Look at this package of ketchup. That packet of ketchup don't even match the other packets of ketchup. Why is I'm like, come on, man. What is that? We gotta stop the foolishness, dude. Yeah, we do.
You know what, JT? I kind of agree with you, and I kind of disagree in that standpoint.
I know you would.
You know why? We need to. It's important for us to say that we can develop the standard, right? Or we can surpass the standard. If Chick-fil-A is the standard and I own, moist chicken.
Moist chicken.
I know, right? I need to open up a chain.
I don't know. We need another name.
This chicken is moist. Hey, his chicken gonna have that wop.
There it is.
I don't want no wet chicken. I don't want no wet chicken. It's gonna be wet.
But
his chicken gonna be wet. Wet chicken. Wet at chicken. Don't do that. Don't, Fred. Listen. We ain't doing that though. We ain't doing that.
Not that.
Like I
If
seen
I
this.
own a brand, on a serious note, if I own the brand, my goal is to make it better than the competitor. You saw what happened with Chick-fil-A and Popeye. I mean, Chick-fil-A and Popeyes, right?
Mhm.
They were going back to back, trying to see, who has the best. I think that's what we have to do. Take the constructive criticism. We have to elevate our bar on so many levels.
Right.
But we're afraid of criticism. We don't like to, when people tell us that you should do this or you should do that, or how can you keep the place clean? Why is there a toothpick on the table? Come on, JT. The toothpick shouldn't even be on the floor. You go to these other places, they cleaning up.
But friends, we'll walk around all the way around dirty Waffle House.
But you know what? Because we undervalue ourselves.
I'm sorry, Waffle House.
Let me tell you, even Waffle House, they working on building their culture as well, cleaning the areas, making sure that this is a spot that you can go to. They're all over Georgia. But just like every other businesses, some of them do really well at making sure the customer service is right, the atmosphere is right, the food is right, and then some of them just don't care. As a business and as a people, we have to care about how we look, how the brand looks, how the product comes out. Because JT, you're right. We're always put at another level, right? We're always going to be criticized. We're always going to
But my thing is, I'm fine with criticism, but it's like we don't help each other. So as soon as one little thing go wrong, then that Black business is the worst business in the world. We won't give it a chance. We won't give it another chance. And we hold them. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be held to a high standard. What I'm saying is we do the same thing among us that the other people do. We got to be twice as better.
Right.
We got to be twice as smart.
Right.
We got to be, but we hold each other to that instead of giving the constructive criticism in a positive way.
I agree.
And then finding a way to help, but we don't do that with each other. And the same way go ahead, JT.
We're gonna go on Facebook and Twitter and talk about them and tell everybody, man, don't waste your time eating there. Because I was in there and they gave me 10 French fries instead of 12 and all this type of stuff. And go ahead.
And then we'll say that's how Black folks do. We say that. It don't be the other people.
No,
I know how niggas is.
I disagree with that.
We say that.
No, I disagree with that. I think
I hear you, but no, that's the truth.
The thing is, we hear it. We hear our comments. We hear our dirt. We don't hear what they have to say. So again, it's the way that it is. I think we have to, again, step up our game, step up our strategy, step up our approach, so that when people give us the criticism, it's something that we can say, yeah, we'll fix that. We'll get that done. Thank you. I appreciate it. When you come back the next time, it'll be better. Instead of, man, I told you this 2 months ago and it's still the same way. You're not cleaning, you're not taking care of the place. It's just, there's a pride that should happen.
I agree.
There's a pride. There's a sense of, man, this is mine that needs to happen. We just throw it on the floor and then keep it moving.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go a different direction with something real quick. It may sound nasty.
I'm scared.
Don't be scared, because it's the truth. If your barbecue spot is clean, I don't want none. I don't want none.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
I need to see a little
No,
mess in this round. Listen,
No, sir. No,
I have
sir.
never had a clean, but I've never had good barbecue from a place that's real spick and span clean. It has never happened in the history of Negroism,
No,
ever.
man. Let me listen.
It helped the flavor. It helped the flavor.
When I say we need to step up, we definitely need to step up. So yeah, I started off with a barbecue stand. Then I got a food truck. Then I got a building. And now I have a franchise. Right?
Mhm.
What's the problem with doing it right so that you can have a franchise, so it could be nice, so it could be an establishment, so it could be a true brand? If you go to one of our spots here in Tallahassee, is was it Four Rivers?
Mm-hmm.
Good barbecue spot. It's a family friendly place. They throwing out. Not only that, they do a lot for the community that people don't even know about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing.
But they're not black owned, are they?
It's not black owned.
It's not black. I didn't think so.
Not black owned, but they do a lot in the community. A lot. I'm talking about giving away food, giving away dollars. What we do is we stay in that same little shack, right, JT, that you wasn't cleaning up, and you okay with it. And that's the problem that I think we have. We're okay with the mediocrity. We're okay. We've been beat down so much that we literally are okay with whatever comes our way. And we need to change that and say, you know what? If the change is going to happen, it needs to start with us. We can't be okay with it. We can't be okay with our communities looking sloppy, with us killing each other, with our restaurants not. Man, imagine a 5-star barbecue place by Bubba Joe. Bubba know how to cook. You know what I mean? Mr. Jackson with the shoes, he know how to cook that barbecue.
And I get what you're saying, and I agree with you to a certain extent, but I also know that there are still inequalities, right? And so the inequalities, especially when it comes to finance, some of us are really, some black-owned businesses are really doing the best they can with what they have.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's a catch-22. Yes, I would love to upgrade my building.
Right.
But because of systemic racism and systemic practices, I can't get that kind of loan.
Let me say this. I agree with you, but for
franchising. I can't get that kind of loan for franchising. I can't get that kind of loan for building.
Listen.
I mean, we look at it even, I'm sorry, friends. We look at, I think last week we talked about movies, right? We look at it even with that. Tyler Perry had to go and spend his own money because the powers that be said, nah, ain't nobody, and nobody wants to take the risk to give you that kind of money to franchise.
And now the powers that be got to use his studio.
That's what I'm saying. Again, what he did was he created his own. And who supported him? The Black community. And then when we started supporting him, other people started supporting him. So again, when they started to see the value in what he brought to the table, then others started saying, yeah, once we valued it as a people, everybody else took it, right? If we would have went and said, oh, this Madea stuff is trash, I don't want to watch it, nobody else is going to watch it. But because we value it, go back to Black Panther, right? It was already a great movie because we valued it.
We value it, but I don't think they value it. They just see the dollar.
They did.
They see the dollar.
And that's why they valued it. And we need to do the same. They're doing that with Tyler Perry now. They value his studio because they see the dollars that they can make from the studio.
They can make off the studio.
And we have to do the same.
Off and from is two different things, friends.
Well, off. You're right. Off the studio. And I think it's the same with all businesses. I was sharing with a friend, and you and I had this conversation, even with my own business. I've gone through craziness where it's my own people holding me back, right? But then it's also my own people who are supporting me. So it's like the people who I would have thought would have said, yeah, come to my school, come to my organization. We want to support you because you bring something valuable. Where some of the people who are, no. But then I had a lot of people who said, man, we love what you're doing. We're going to invest in you. As a matter of fact, here's a blessing. Keep doing your work because we know it's needed. And in our community right now, that is the biggest issue. We could raise $1 million. I'm not going to say the name of the organization that raised $1 million in one day. In one day, $1 million in one day to give to another organization. We could do the same. So we're not in the woe is me phase anymore. If they don't want to give it to us, we could find a way to raise it ourselves. If they don't want to build it for us, we can build it ourselves. The biggest lesson I got from that was going to Tuskegee Institute. And I know we're all over the place tonight. But when I went to Tuskegee and saw how they built the university, probably one of the most, it's a special campus. The way they build it, they did it themselves.
Right.
The government wasn't going to come in to say, hey, here's some tools. They said, no, we need a lab. We're going to build a lab. If we need a house, we're going to build a house. So I think we need to get into that type of mindset. Again, we have the tools, the resources. Think about this. Every Sunday, how much you think goes into that collection plate?
Nothing right now. But I'm just
JT, I beg to differ with you because now they're doing Cash App and PayPal.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then that goes into another bank. It don't go to a black bank. It doesn't go right back into our community. So again, if we could do this for a church, if we could do this for a number of things, for funerals, how many funerals have passed and you had to throw in some dollars, right? To help this person see their way through. I've done it several times. If we can do it for the small things, we could do it for the large things. That's why I said that your point about Tyler Perry made my point. If Tyler Perry could build that studio at that caliber, we could build a community. We could build so much more. But we can't just depend on others to give us the handout or to give us the help. Will I take it? Oh, you best believe I'll take that grant. I'll take that dollar. But we need to know that we don't need to rely on it to make it happen for us.
I agree. I agree. And I guess I agree to a certain extent because I believe we are resilient. I believe that we can do anything we put our mind to. I believe in the power of us, in the power of the Black dollar, in the power of Black people. What is troubling to me is finding a way to get that old mentality gone just among ourselves, and which comes from having successful cities, having successful cities burned to the ground because they are successful cities. And then you have this fear that gets passed down from generation to generation to generation, having the way we were sold off and not meant to love and cherish each other because they didn't want us united and collected like that, and how we still see that now. So how do we get rid of that, especially when it comes to our Black businesses? So if I have a business and this is my price, you want me to give you a cut. You want me to give you a hookup,
Yeah.
but you'll go across the railroad tracks
And pay the full price.
and
Pay
pay
the
the full
full
price.
pay more
Don't ask about nothing.
and give a
Probably
tip.
don't even get the same quality that I would give you. Let's
Right.
take a hairstylist.
Right.
If I'm a black hairstylist, I know black hair.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're gonna go across the track and pay way more, and they're not, your hair not known to them like that.
It's, you know,
Mr. Positivity, let me have it. Tell me.
Listen, we got a number. We took a number in this piece in terms of from slavery up until now. And you're right, it's deeply rooted in our DNA.
Yeah.
But what we must do is, there's an acronym I saw on one of these social media sites, either Facebook or Instagram. Fear. We need to forget everything and rise. It doesn't mean that past should be forgotten, but we need to forget everything and rise, and we need to stop fearing everything and run. We can't run away from the challenge of being the best barbecue place in the state, in the world. We can't run away from having the best educational system in the world, the best teachers in the world, the best. I don't care if you making suits to sweeping the floor, right? As Dr. King said, whatever we need to do, we need to be the best at it, and we can't fear it. We need to rise to the occasion to be the best we can be. That's what it is. We are afraid of the possibility, and we can't be afraid of it just because they're afraid of it, right? Why did they burn down Tulsa? Why did they burn down these places? They were afraid. They're afraid of the outcome and of the growth. We can't be afraid because they're afraid. We can't let their fears affect our growth. We must continue to rise. You know, I can't say it any other way, Lisa. I mean, my name is not on the ticket. But
So what about, there is a greater sacrifice, right? If I decide to start a business, right? So there's the financial piece,
Yep.
there is time, there is all this sacrifice. Can I afford to quit my job and go at this wholeheartedly? If I can't, then how do I still do it? There is no trust fund to say, here go the seed money. I mean, are we gathering together again to help each other? Let's say, is there, how do we organize a seed planting group or something, for those of us who, can afford it, or for those of us who have made it, whatever, are we giving back in that way? Are we reaching back like in other cultures? You come over here, let's get this business started, everybody stay together. Once we get your business up and running and you a house, then we bring some more in, we get that business up and running and get them a house. Where are we doing that?
Well, I think the biggest issue with that is you got too many of these Negroes that's looking in everybody else's house or everybody else's business, talking about, oh, that nigga making more money than me, so I can't start this, so I can't help him do this or help him do that, simply because of the fact that I ain't getting it, he getting it all, when the whole thing is to help each other build each other up. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
JT is back to what I said. We got to forget those things. We got to forget those habits that we've had in the past.
We can forget it, but your average.
We need to. The thing is that we can forget it. We can learn better. We can up our game. The question is, are you willing to do it? Right? Mm-hmm. Are you willing to take the sacrifice to say, hey, so Lisa, it's happening. It is happening, but it needs to happen more, right? Mm-hmm. So when I came to school here, I came with, I believe, about $700 in my pocket. a little more than $700 in my pocket because my church put a collection plate in the summer. They put that plate around and they said, man, we believe in you. We wishing you the best. Here you go. So yes, that's one way. And that might be small, but it makes a difference. Can we Annie and start saying, you know what, when we take our tithes and offerings, 10% of that is going towards education funds, right? Can we do things like that to enhance our community and our brand? Yes. When we pay our taxes, right? When we pay our taxes, can we say, here's a fund that's going towards helping building Black businesses and building Black entrepreneurship, right? Can we do that? Yes, we can. But again, it's going to take leadership, and it's going to take faith, and it's going to take us not being afraid. We can't go back and still look at what has happened. So JT, what you was talking about was really going back to Willie Lynch still. You know, you in the house, I'm in the field. Let me see what you're doing over there. Nah, let me see what you're doing. You can't see what I'm doing over here. You need to stay outside. We have to start building habits that help us to grow, that help us to build the village. You remember our village conversation, right? That's what essentially is going to help us to get out of where we are in terms of now I value what you bring to the table. Right. I know it's a good product. I know you are one of the best in the world at doing what you do. And then there's a consistency. That's the other piece. Yes. There's a consistency in what you do because you're sweeping this floor. Man, you sweep this floor every day like it's the best swept floor ever. We can't just do it for one day, right?
Got to do it all the time.
We got to do it all the time.
All the time.
And then that's going to help us to say, yeah, I can leave my full-time job to go to make my part-time job my career. But we can't be afraid. And again, the system still has to run. So even if you're working for a corporate setting, be the best at it, right? Be the best a secretary that ever lived. Turn in that paper the best way. I'm going from the bottom all the way to the top. Be the best CEO on the planet that's thinking about the company, the people, the community. That's what's going to help us, because at the end of the day, when they start seeing, man, this is some good work, we value what you do, right? I can't remember the CEO, but he was from Wells Fargo. I don't know if you guys saw that, who said, I can't find
Black talent,
quality Black talent.
Right.
He needs to retract from that because he knows he has quality Black talent working for him right now. But we have to, again, come to the forefront and say, man, it's not just one or two. It's even if you're the janitor, you are doing the job so well that everybody has to come around and say, man, what are you doing? Why is this so good?
Right.
We can't be afraid of the future because of our past.
Two things. One, I was watching John Thompson, the CEO of Microsoft.
Yes.
Yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he said something that was so interesting. One, he did stop them from saying, I can't find Black talent, or I can't find, which is definitely not true.
Correct.
Because I believe if you want your business to be diverse, it don't really take a whole lot.
Listen, if you want your business to thrive, to be better than what it is, you need Black talent. There's no way around it.
Right. And so the other thing
we will show you.
Say what, JT?
We will show you.
Right.
Who we are.
It's out.
Who we are.
It's out there. But the other thing that he said I thought was interesting, and I think it can be applied to Black entrepreneurship, is he said that he almost turned down a job that kind of led him to where he is today, because his wife said to him, oh, it's about the money? And she said, I was under the impression that you were about the vision, about the larger picture of it. And he said that turned him around, and he began to think about the doors that he could open.
Correct.
And the trail he could blaze. And I was like, you know what? That's what it is right there. Yes, I'm not saying that I don't want to be filthy rich someday. I am not saying that at all. I want to be able to wake up and decide what I'm gonna do today. You know, what I want to wake up and decide maybe what car I'm gonna drive today, whether it's gonna be my Escalade or whether it's gonna be this or whether it's gonna be that. I want
Nah,
to be
you
able
ain't doing that though. You gassing up the jet.
whatever it is. Whatever it is, wherever I'm going today.
That's what we're talking
You
about.
know? Yes, I'm not saying that money is not important,
Right.
but I think when we take our focus off of that and make it on the larger picture,
Right.
the larger picture is the vision. The larger picture is building, like you were saying, friends, building each other up, building these businesses, seeing young entrepreneurs or seeing entrepreneurs and say, hey, you know, how many of them are we taking under our wing and saying, you know what, you need to develop this product. Here's some seed money, or let me see how I can help you get seed money or whatever it is. And so when he said that, I was like, you know what, light bulb go on, you know, because it is about the larger picture. It's about us helping one another and seeing that my position, and actually I'm gonna say this too, my pastor says this a lot. Sometimes somebody else's breakthrough depends on your breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else's path depends on you walking correctly in your path. And I'm like,
It's not sometimes.
that's so true.
It's all the time.
And that's what it is. Our testimonies, our lives are not just for us.
Correct.
They're for the people that are looking. And it's not always young people. It could be somebody older than you that's thinking,
Correct.
oh, my time is gone or whatever. And then they see you doing it and be like, whoa, maybe I can.
I'm gonna give you this testimony. One of my great mentors, Dr. Osafil Anderson. What's up, my brother? Dr. Osafil Anderson is about 90 plus right now. When I wrote my first book, he said, Morris, I need you to come to my house. I went to his house. He gave me a stack. This is the math professor, emeritus at Florida A&M University. A stack of just books and things that he has written, right? And I said, Doc, you need to make these into books. He did just that. That's why he invited me over. He said, man, if you could do it, show me how to do it.
Wow.
So we sat there and I showed him the path and he took it. He surpassed me. He surpassed me. And to me, that is like the biggest testimony. You know, it doesn't matter about age, where, you know, what family you came from, how much money you have. Just be the best at what you do, because somebody's watching it and somebody might need your light to help them get to their direction.
Right.
Again, like I was saying, JT, we can't be afraid of that past. We got to forget it. You know, we got to start talking to each other as brothers and sisters, kings and queens, owners, leaders of industry. You don't got to be an entrepreneur, but if you're running you running somebody else's business, lead it so that you could be what's called I had a meeting today with the School of Education. We had a guest speaker in my class, Mrs. Edwards. She serves as a community liaison, and she does a lot for the community of Bond. Really, I mean, she's gotten grant dollars to help build the community. And she said something at the end that I told her I had to give her praise for. We have to start supporting each other, not saying come here for free. I know that you have a product. Let me connect you. You know, I might not be running my own business, but I could be a connector and say, hey, there's grant dollars here. There's an organization here, or we need your services here. We need your support here. How can we make that happen? Yeah. Again, we got to be the best at what we do, and we can't apologize for it. That's why there's no room for you know, Mr. Lewis barbecue shop that's been there for 50 years.
In the same building.
It's same, not even a building, same little spot. It's always dirty. Nobody wants
No, but you got to give your props. I'm sorry, you got to give your props to places like Shingles. That
Shingles.
was the best
Man,
food
boy,
ever.
let me talk
I'm
about that.
sorry. Sorry.
Yeah,
Y'all don't know nothing about that right now.
Listen,
That's Shingles.
I told my frat brother was telling me about Shingles because he knows the owners, and they were talking about bringing it back.
Are
And
they?
I said, oh, that would be a good idea, but guess what? We still living in the past. Look at you, Shingles. He over JT licking his fingers.
Hey, if it was good food, it was good food. I'm sorry, you can't get away from that. It ain't about the past. It ain't about living in the past. Friends, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, when you had a good quality product, the product needs to continue.
Exactly. Shingles is not here anymore. It's not here, and that's my problem. KFC is here. Chick-fil-A is here, but Shingles is not here. So
you trying to say Shingles can't come back?
If they come back, it has to be consistent. That's what I was saying earlier. We can't just do it.
Consistent. It was consistent.
But they're not here right
now. But it was consistent.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Lisa. There needs to be a passing of the guards. Let me train you on how to do this. I said the same thing with when Barack Obama got elected the first time. I put it on that night. I was so happy. I was jumping around my house. But then I put in my social media, we cannot only focus about today. We need to think about 8 years from now.
Yeah.
We need to be ready with the next leadership, with the next team, with the next plan. We can't live off the past. I love Barack, but Barack is done. Who's next?
Yeah.
Who's next?
Yeah.
Shingles.
Donald Trump.
Who's next?
Shingles 2. Shingles 2. Don't even try it. Shingles 2. Shingles the sequel. Ain't nothing wrong with sequels, friends.
Oh God.
But
that ain't what Denzel said.
Here's another thing that I think.
Before you say, I have to say this because JT just said it. Denzel's the best, one of the best in the business. But what did he do? He invested back to bring about a Chadwick, and they still going back. See, Denzel know his time is going to be up. So we need to have who's the next Denzel, who's the next Chadwick, as we talked about the next Black Panther.
Yeah.
Who is the next? But we don't want garbage coming up next, because what we gonna do? We're gonna talk our trash.
Yeah. I don't know where they found that cat right there from. They need to send him back to acting school. I don't even know.
So here is another
saying this about me, but I'm just saying.
About you.
They'll say that about they'll say that from somebody. It just wouldn't be me.
And it shouldn't be any of us, right?
No, it shouldn't.
It should be, man. They bring the pain. They come with the thunder every time. I said every time we do our conversation, man, the conversation heated up. And we do it every time we bring good content. We have to be consistent with our work, consistent with our words, consistent with our actions, consistent with our thoughts. If we're not, if we consistently do it the bad way or the wrong way, we're not going to get better.
Right. So here is another piece that I find when we talk about Black businesses and entrepreneurship. It is the communication piece, right? So I have found, okay, so say my brother bought me a FAMU book bag, and it was a Black-owned business, but the trouble that he went through getting it kind of soured him on the company.
Right.
And the problem was the company, a startup company, got a lot of business and couldn't quite navigate it or handle it. And instead of saying, this is what's going on, you don't say nothing, and
Yeah.
people waiting on their product. They, what is wrong with us communicating what's going on? Do we feel like if I say it's gonna be later because I had this issue, are we gonna be turned off, or are we gonna say, you know what, I'm glad you told me? Now sometimes we will. I think we here go the fear factor again. I think that we think if we tell people that we're having this production issue, then our business is gonna leave. And probably 9 times out of 10, it might. But we still have to be able to communicate and be honest. You know what? I'm glad you love this bag. A lot of people love this bag, and we were not totally prepared as a startup for this rush of demand. So what is wrong with communicating that? And then if that is communicated to you, are you done with that company? Are you like, oh, nah, you know? So it's a
I'm
catch-22.
Go ahead, JT.
well, I know that I can tell you right now. I'm actually you said that I'm actually dealing with that right now. I've ordered something from a black-owned company, and I was supposed to get it last Friday. It is now about to be another Friday. When they told me last Wednesday it will be there on Friday. And that's the thing, man. I just like, I don't want to be a bugaboo, but I paid my money, and you said it was going to be there last Friday. Now we working on another Friday, and I sent him a message like yesterday, like, hey, bro, what's the ETA? What the expected time of arrival? And it's like, oh yeah, man, I mailed that out already, and it should be. But
See that part right there. And the fact that you had to contact them instead of them contacting you and saying, look, we ran into this issue. Yeah. I can respect that.
Right.
I can respect that.
So what I would say is it is the evolution of Black businesses, right? There also needs to be training on customer care, customer service. As you guys know, that's what I do as well. Going to start small businesses and telling them, hey, this is what you could do to make it better, not just in terms of your people, but in terms of your process.
I like where you put that plug in.
He did.
Hey, I like the way he plugged himself right there.
We need that. I can't tell you how many businesses I've helped just by having a simple conversation. Hey, do this. Now I've had the same thing with at an event at Essence. I bought a great outfit and I needed the pants. I talked to the brother. We had a great time. We connected. I said, hey, I want to get this piece. What I found out, it took forever. Reading the comments on what people were saying, I said, hey, listen, if you want this business to grow, if you want this brand to grow, you need to listen to what these people are saying. Mm-hmm. Get their product to them in a reasonable amount of time. Mm-hmm. I recently purchased something again from them. I got it just like that. No problem. Mm-hmm. And it's not just because I have a relationship with him. He upped his brand. He upped his mechanism, his technology. Black businesses need to do the same. We can't rely on just the same old. I used to get my pen and paper and I write down everybody that gave me something. No, use the technology, upgrade our systems to make it better so that we can grow. We may not be the best right now, but tomorrow we can be better. Mm-hmm. If we're not working towards being better tomorrow or the next day or the next month or the next year, then we're going to have the same problem. And this is not just a Black business thing. This is a Black people thing, a Black culture thing, right? We got to find ways to enhance who we are, period.
I don't know if we need enhancement, friends. We the bomb.
No, we need to enhance. We need to enhance.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there.
See, we think we good where we at right now. Nah, let's go ahead and let's up this thing.
Correct. We got people dying in the streets. They killing us. They killing us in our school system by giving us farce. Like I'm blowing my mind. They giving us whatever they want to give us and say this is an education. No,
Yeah.
deeper than that, right?
Yeah.
We're bigger than that. So when I talk to my kids, I'm talking about the whole aspect of who you are and who you can be. That's why I love HBCUs.
Yeah.
Again, we can't just FAMU just named the #1 HBCU in the land, right? But guess what?
Second year in a row.
Second year in a row. Guess what? We cannot rest on our laurels.
Right.
We need to say, you know what? We coming for you again next year.
Right.
And we're gonna up our game. We're gonna up our technology. We're gonna up our skills. We're gonna up the number of students who graduate and that's prepared to go and handle these issues in the world.
Exactly.
That is
I don't want to say this, but I think it needs to be said.
Oh Lord.
I honestly believe that is why the SWAC schools are pissed off right now. They got a school coming to the SWAC that they don't know nothing about. They don't know what this Rattler Nation is about. They can't fathom having a #1 HBCU in the country simply because of the fact Southern ain't never been it. Jackson State ain't never been it. Mississippi Valley State ain't never been it. Understand that these Rattlers do something different. I'm just that's just me.
So JT, we've been
in the SWAC before, haven't we?
No, we always been MEAC.
So let me say this.
Are you sure?
I am positive.
No matter if we're SWAC or MEAC, what we need to continue to do is be the light so that one day Jackson State could be the #1 school in the land.
Bump them. I'm talking about FAMU.
Until we help others to elevate, we have not truly elevated.
Yeah.
Think about it. If I have the best business in the country and I'm not helping somebody else build a better business or better product or help them to improve, then my process is not what I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, we, like you said, we talking about this person and that person, and we got to forget about that. And we got to start saying, hey, how can I help lift you up? How can I help you today?
You're right.
Until we start saying, hey, listen, we here, we got these products. This is the way we interact. Here's our best practices at FAMU.
Yeah.
You guys should use this same template. As a matter of fact, share your best practices so that we can enhance ourselves.
Yeah. I heard TD Jakes say one time, good leadership works itself out of a job.
What? There it is. There it is.
So when you go on, you passing the mantle.
That's correct.
You passing the mantle.
Because
listen,
behind you, that's not Shingles. Where you at?
It's a 2. It's a sequel. Stop it, friends. Stop it.
We need to start doing it not just in businesses, but in developing our boys and our girls, our men and our women, our schools, our churches.
Yeah.
The mantle has to be passed. Pastor's not going to be there forever.
Yeah.
Who going to take his place? And how we going to make it better than what it was a year ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah. So we are 3 minutes over our hour, guys. Y'all get rowdy.
Like Fran said, it gets heated in the kitchen. We got to rise up.
So before we go, we do want to give this reminder. If you have not registered to vote, you have until October 5th to register to vote. You need to register to vote by October 5th. Get in there, get registered to vote. If you are not in the Leon County area, check with your local supervisor of elections and get the information, because you need to vote on November 3rd. We need to rock this vote. It is so serious out here in these streets, as the young people say. It's serious. We need to vote. November 3rd is the general election.
Mm-hmm.
The general election. And as we are seeing, leadership is very important.
Mm.
It is very important
So
that we have good leadership. It's very, very important.
you
Get
said
out,
this piece,
find out how you vote. LeonVotes.gov for Leon County. Check. You can Google it. Come on, people. You got technology in your hand. Google
your
the
hand.
supervisor of elections.
In your
Find
hand.
out how you rock your vote. Your voice needs to be heard and not just complaining.
Right.
This is the action, is to get out there and vote. We need you to get out there and vote.
Lisa, I wanted to commend you because we've been doing this since early this year in terms of reminding people that the power of voting and letting it known every show. I think this show, we've shouted out a couple of great businesses, past and future and present. I think we should also continue to do that, like shout out your business. So for those of you who are out there who have a small business, let us know, so we could shout it out, right? We can't support you if we don't know who you are.
That's true.
So I think that's something else that we could do in terms of talking about supporting Black. Well, let's start.
I agree with you.
Sharing,
I agree with you.
Who's out there, what they provide, so that people know. Just as important is for us to vote, it is also important for us to support each other.
Support one another. I agree. And I will get right on that. Next week we'll have some Black businesses to talk about. I agree with you. There you go. That's my give back
right now.
What is it, JT?
Mac and Good Wings,
no
wing
strippers.
Huh? What you say about strippers?
What you say?
That's it. Smack and Good Wings wing truck. Corey Young is a good friend of mine, and he's doing very well right now in Tallahassee.
Where are they?
He's actually he has a Facebook page, so he's all over Tallahassee during the week. But I know on the weekends he's at right there on Adams Street, across from the, I think, petrol station on Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay, Smacking Good Wings.
Yes.
First off, JT, great shout out. He was one of my former students.
Oh yeah.
Before he and I talked about entrepreneurship. Should he do this? This is his second business, and the young man is doing it. Not only does he have the food truck, he caters too.
Yeah,
so pandemic, you looking for? He got you. So he's not the only one. But again, you never know who's gonna be that next person.
I like it. I like it a lot.
But you gotta follow. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, JT.
Now I was just gonna say, you got to follow his Facebook page to get his schedule of where he's gonna be all throughout the week. Yeah.
Cool beans. Will do. I love me some wings.
Yeah, that brother got some sauces that'll knock your socks off.
Okay.
I can't. You really.
Where? I don't know where he come from. How did he get here?
I support you, JT. I support you, Lisa. Love you guys. Salute.
That night.
Kitchen Talk, CTC.
Conversations that cook.
Yes. Good night, guys.
Night.
Good night.